So you've created your first invoice and you want to sync it over to Xero. So all we need to do is hit the sync button in the top right corner here. It's going to open our accounting system settings. We can select Xero, hit connect to Xero. If you haven't logged in already, it'll ask you to log in first, but we just want to allow access for 30 minutes for Coincraft. We've successfully connected. Now we've got a few settings we need to set up here. So we've got our sales account. So it's going to give you the option of all your sales accounts in Xero. Typically there's only one. We also need to select some tax types for taxable income and tax-free income. So we've got our GST here for taxable income, tax-free income is GST-free income, like so. There's a couple of options here. Typically they're only used if requested by your accountant. So you can use the phase codes in Coincraft to sync up with Xero's item codes. Just be careful with this, because if you don't have the item codes in Xero which match the phase codes in Coincraft, you'll get an error. And you can also use the project name as a reference in Xero as well. If you need any other settings, just let me know and we can get that fixed up for you. So I'll save these settings. Next time you sync an invoice, it's not going to ask you to go through that again. That's just the initial setup. And all we need to do now is hit sync to Xero. It says sync was successful, hit OK. Now we have this view in Xero button. You just click on that. And you can view your invoice in Coincraft. You'll see all the descriptions displayed like in Coincraft. The percentage quantities are represented as a decimal value, and the only difference is you can't get this phase level grouping happening inside of Xero. So we've basically fused all the phases together into one big invoice. So it's good to make sure that your line items are descriptive enough for the client to understand what they're for without the phase groupings you have in Coincraft. So if you're happy with that, you can modify these if you want to. It's no big deal. Just note that if you sync it again with Coincraft, we will override those values. You can save the invoice, approve it, print your PDF and email it to the client. Do everything you usually do outside of Xero from here on out. One thing I forgot to mention, if we go to our Xero invoice, the system has created a new contact here. So if you want to guarantee that Coincraft will use an existing Xero contact, what you can do is import your Xero contacts into Coincraft. And the way you do that is via this plus button, and we can click import contacts from Xero, retrieve the contacts. In this view, we can just select the particular contact we want to import. So we can say Barry Brew, import that. And you can see Barry Brew in here like so, with Xero in brackets to signify it's a Xero contact. So now when we sync over to Xero and view it, we can see the invoice will now be addressed to Barry Brew. Okay, that should be all you need to know to sync to Xero. Thanks.